सच्चिदानन्दं वासुदेवं धर्म संस्थापकम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा। संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
भारतीय संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा। ज्ञान और विज्ञान यहीं से सबने पाया सारा, सबने पाया हारा। कुछ भूलों से हारा फिर से जीते देश हमारा। गीता पर
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी। वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
महावीर गोविंद शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे। परंपरा की पुण्य चेतना उर में हम सब धारे, उर में हम सब धारे। बाल हृदय में उसे जगाकर जग जगे देश यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ जय गीता
त्यागो बनाओ,
जय भारत माँ जय गीता माँ जय भारत माँ जय गीता माँ।
समर्थ बनाओ, बंधु गले लगाओ, सबको गले लगाओ। चलो विवेकानंद मार्ग पर, शुभ संदेश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। बहती संस्कारों की धारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिप
वचनं मधुरं चरितं बलितं मधुरं चलितं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुरम्
वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुराः पाणिर्मधुराः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
कुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीथी मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिप
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु जोदायकु फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतई सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर है सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असव पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्त मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय।
Jai Shri Krishna. In Zoom meeting, if you want to turn off the notification of Zoom chats, then click on the chats and then click on these three dots, turn off notifications, click on that, click on the mute option, and now chats notification will not disturb you. Jai Shri Krishna.
सच्चिदानन्दम् वासुदेवम् व्रजप्रियम् धर्मसंस्थापकम् वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्।
Jai Shri Krishna and a very warm welcome on this beautiful winter evening to all sadhaks gathered here. I start with my head bowed in devoted and sincere reverence on the lotus feet of Purushottam Bhagavan Shri Krishna and Param Pujya Swami Acharya Govind Dev Giriji Maharaj. May we always have their guidance and blessings in our lives. In today's session, we will be introduced to the concept of Nyas. Though not directly part of the Bhagavad-Gītā, Nyas refers to the sacred ritual of connecting mantras and divinity to different parts of our body while chanting, sometimes incorporating specific actions that are drawn from Gita shlokas. It prepares us to shift from the outer world to the inner state of purity, alignment, and receptivity. Nyas helps us recognize that every limb in our body is governed and protected by Bhagwan's presence, transforming the body into an instrument of worship. As a form of deep devotion, Nyas guides us inwards towards self-realization and ultimately what we are all looking for, liberalization. As we begin today's Vivechan, let us enter this practice with reverence, allowing the sacred vibrations to settle in our being and uplift our sadhana. And now, a couple of simple suggestions to help you with the technical issues during the session in case you face them. We hope with this you will have a more immersive experience during the Vivechan session. If there is no or very low sound volume, then please connect headphones or increase the volume of your phone or your computer. If chat box is blinking continuously, as we saw in the video a while back, tap the bell icon at the top right-hand corner to mute notifications. Please check your internet connection and if possible use Wi-Fi instead of mobile data if you see blurry screen or if speaker's voice is getting disconnected very often. If Zoom keeps disconnecting, then you may want to watch the session on YouTube. In the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan teaches that the way to attain him is to keep our mind lovingly and with devotion united with him. He urges us, Manmana bhava madbhakto, fix your mind onto me, become my devotee, reminding us that devotion begins with steady remembrance of the Paramatma. And we all know that prayer is the soul's natural call, the gentle way through which our inner being expresses its love and surrender to the Paramatma. Today, I would like to call upon Pradanya Bhonge ji from Mumbai to deliver the prayers on our behalf. Having joined Geeta Pariwar in March 2024, Pradanya ji provides seva as a co-trainer. Pradanya ji, may I request you to please lead us in our prayers today.
वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णौ वन्दे जगद्गुरुं Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna Didi, thank you so much for reading the prayer so beautifully. It was a direct call to the Paramatma. Bhagwan has also said that he is the source of all light in the universe and even beyond the darkness of ignorance. Geeta ji is the sacred medium through which he chooses to impart that divine radiance into our lives. As in Deep Prajwalan, may the light of Bhagwan's wisdom awaken clarity, devotion, and inner brilliance within each one of us to guide us towards truth. For doing the Deep Prajwalan today, I would like to call upon Shobha Deshpande ji from Bengaluru. Shobha ji joined Geeta Pariwar in 2021 and provides seva as a co-trainer. Shobha ji, may I request you to please slide the lamp on our behalf.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः तिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रवस्त्र कलहंसकृता वरदां शारदा नुमः
Thank you so much, Shobha ji, for taking us into your beautiful mandir and making us part of the Deep Prajwalan. It was so lovely to see Bhagwan dressed in all white flower. And very happy and excited to share that our next batch of L1 classes are going to start from 19th of December. For those of us who have been blessed to become part of Geeta Pariwar and embark on this wonderful spiritual transformative journey, now is the time for us to give this unique experience to our friends and family. So do let this be known to as many people as possible across India and abroad so that they too can take refuge under Geeta Mata's and with Geeta Mata. This will definitely help them enrich their lives. They can register on joingeeta.com link. And as you may already know, Learngeeta is celebrating the Geeta Jayanti Mahotsav from 15th of November to 31st of December. As part of this celebration, the exciting Geeta Olympiad has been launched with many exciting events. Please log into geetajayanti.com to register and participate in the Olympiads. Details have already been shared on your WhatsApp participants group. And now, it is my profound honor to introduce our speaker for this evening, Senior Trainer Shri Vikas Vaidya. With deep study, vast knowledge, and innumerable insightful commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita, Vikas brings unique and transformative perspective to every sadhak he addresses. A global traveler who lived as an NRI for 12 years, he is a true polyglot, speaking 6 languages fluently, which are Hindi, Marathi, English, Indonesian, Malaysian, and Spanish. Armed with a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering and a postgraduate diploma in business management, he runs a successful IT company in Pune. Yet, at the heart of his life lies unwavering devotion. For the last 5 years, Vikasji has chanted the entire Bhagavad Gita every single day of the year, 365 days of the year. What a remarkable tapasya that radiates through his teachings. In addition to his personal sadhana, Vikasji serves as a senior trainer at Geeta Pariwar, contributing towards the training, selection, and mentorship of new trainers. He conducts impactful Vivechan sessions on Vishnu Sahasranam as part of the Pune chapter of Geeta Pariwar and guides aspiring Geeta Vratis preparing for the Geeta exam conducted by the Sringeri Peeth. His mastery of the Gita is well recognized as he secured the first prize in the Geeta Kanthasti exam at Sringeri Peeth, awarded by the Param Pujya Jagadguru Shankaracharya Ji. A seeker, a scholar, and a sadhak of rare dedication, Vikasji embodies the very spirit of Nyas, internalizing divine wisdom so deeply that it becomes a living presence. It is with great reverence that I now invite him to illuminate our hearts and minds with the same sacred resonance. Vikas Bhaiya, over to you.
वसुदेवसुदं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं जय श्री कृष्ण। पूज्य स्वामी जी के चरण कमलों में कोटि कोटि नमन। A warm welcome to all of you. Today we'll take Nyas, then Prarthana, then Gita Mahatmya, then Atadhyanam shlokas, and then in the end Kshama Prarthana. Some shlokas related to Kshama Prarthana. So this is the last in the session for 18th Adhyay. It has no connection with 18th Adhyay as such, but this is the end of your L4 sessions. So this is Nyas. We'll start with Nyas first. Karan Nyas and Hridayadhi Nyas. Now what is Nyas? The first question that comes to our mind is what is Nyas? Nyas in English literally means to deposit, to setting down. It is a concept in our Sanatana Dharma, Hinduism. It involves touching various parts of our body while chanting specific portions of Gita mantras, Gita shlokas. This imposition of mantras upon the body is considered as assigning or locating of divinity inside our body. Organs of our body allow us to experience the outside world, isn't it? Without organs, we cannot experience the outside world. Before we use those organs to pray or to worship, it's important to cleanse them. Our eyes see many bad things. Our ears hear many bad things. So before we use these organs for some divine purpose, we need to cleanse them. Senses that we experience through them should be pure and to the fullest. That is bliss. So before we start, it is important to cleanse the organs and the senses with which we will practice. Just like the utensils must be cleaned before making food, tools of our body must be cleaned before practicing bhakti. What are these tools? Our fingers that perform different rituals. Our senses of touch, smell, sight, hearing and taste. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. That procedure of cleansing is called Nyas. According to Oxford Dictionary, it means to place, to set in, to use, to touch. That is Nyas. It also connotes the mental purification or allocation of various body parts to guardian spirits. Guardian spirits. Way to perform the Nyas is to touch each organ, explicitly think of how it is useful for performing our day-to-day duties, and remind us that it must be pure to perform those duties in a proper way, the way they are intended to be. Nyas are embedded at the beginning of actual prayers. Before we start reading Bhagavad-Gītā, we have to perform Nyas. It is a prescribed procedure that one performs before starting a worship. Even when we have Satyanarayana Puja at home, we perform Nyas. Similarly, when we read Geeta, we do Geeta Parayana, there is a procedure to perform Nyas. So at the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Nyas associates each organs with another mantras. Most of them are from chapter 2 because the chapter 2 is dedicated to Atma, the soul. So this is in brief about the Nyas. Now the question is it necessary to perform Nyas? We do Gita Parayana, we do Gita reading every day. So that means every day we should do Nyas? The answer is a plain simple no. It is not necessary. If you are doing Gita Pathan with a Nishkam Bhav, you are not asking any requirement, any favors from the God. You are doing it for your own Manashanti, peace of mind. No expectation from Lord Krishna when you are reading Gita. You are doing it just for your own satisfaction. But if you happen to use your Parayan for some Sakam Sadhana, that God, I will do Gita Parayan today, but please, 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 I want this, I want that, then it becomes a Sakam Sadhana. And every Sakam Sadhana, you have to follow the rules of Karma Kanda. Cleanse the body with shower and cleanse the organs, senses, mind by loud recitation of specific mantras. So that is the Nyas which we need to perform. Now, the first is Karanyas. Before reading Bhagavad Gita, it's a small purificatory ritual done with the hands. With hands. Its purpose is to sanctify the fingers and the palm. Because the hands will hold the sacred book of Bhagavad Gita in our hands, isn't it? And turns its pages with hands. So they should be purified. It prepares the mind, body to receive Gita Dhyan. Now, what is Karanyas before we start reading Gita? Before beginning Gita Pathan, some traditions recite short mantras while touching each finger and palm. Why finger and palm? Because if you consult any acupuncture specialist, he will tell you that all our fingers are connected to the entire body and there are specific points on our palm which if you press, it energizes that particular organ. The acupressure specialist may say, if you go to him saying that I have a headache, then he may ask you to press somewhere here and all that. So those who have been to acupressure specialists, they will know what is the significance of our fingers and palm. So this is usually done with some shlokas from Gita. It is a small act of purification, concentration, and invoking divine energy in our hands. The idea is, my hands are now the instruments of Shri Krishna's wisdom. Now, why perform Karanyas before Gita? To purify the Karmendriyas, organs of action. Hands symbolize action. Gita teaches us Karma Yoga. So, purifying the hands symbolizes sacred action of before we qualify ourselves for reading Gita, because Gita is Karma Yoga. and karmas are done by hands. To activate the awareness, touching fingers with a mantra brings the mind to the present moment. You are daydreaming or you are imagining something of past or future. Touching the hands brings you in at present. Third, to invite the divine blessings of God. You are invoking Narayan, you are invoking Shri Krishna Bhagavan into your actions before opening the scripture of Bhagavad Gita. To protect from distraction, Nyas creates a subtle shield and improves focus on Gita study. In very simple words, Karanyas before reading Gita means purify the hands, invoke Lord Shri Krishna, begin Gita with sacred awareness. So this is in short about the Karanyas. Having discussed Karanyas, now we'll do Karanyas. You can kindly observe my hands and the movements, what I do, and the slokas that I chant while doing Karanyas. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā अथ करन्यासः. ओम अस्य श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता माला मंत्रस्य भगवान् वेदव्यास ऋषिः अनुष्टुप् श्रीकृष्णः परमात्मा देवता. अशोच्यानन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे इति बीजम्. सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज इति शक्तिः. अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचा इति कीलकम्. Now watch the hands. नैनै छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावका इत्यगुष्टाभ्यां नमः. When you say नैनै छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः इत्यगुष्टाभ्यां नमः, the index finger will roll on the thumb from bottom to top. इत्यगुष्टाभ्यां नमः, इत्यगुष्टाभ्यां नमः. नैनै छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावका इत्यगुष्टाभ्यां नमः. Then न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापो न शोषयति मारुता इति तर्जनीभ्यां नमः. See, the thumb will purify with the tarjani, but remaining 4 fingers will purify with our thumb rolling over them. So nainai chindanti shastrani, we rolled our index finger on our thumb. Nainai chindanti shastrani nainan dahati bhavaka ityagustabhyan namaha. And then na chainam kledayantyaapo na shoshayiti maruta iti tarjanibhyan namaha. So in the tarjanibhyan namaha, we roll our thumb on the index finger, tarjanibhyan namaha. Having purified our thumb and index finger, we go further to our madhyamya, madhyamabhyan namaha. अच्छेद्यो यमदाह्यो यम अक्लेद्यो शोष एव च इति मध्यमाभ्यां नमः. मध्यमा, मिडिल फिंगर, मध्यमाभ्यां नमः. अच्छेद्यो यमदाह्यो यम अक्लेद्यो शोष एव च इति मध्यमाभ्यां नमः. देन नित्य सर्वगत स्थाणुरचलो यम सनातन इत्यनामिकाभ्यां नमः. This is our anamika, ring finger, what we call it. So we have to purify this with this chanting of shloka. नित्य सर्वगत स्थाणुरचलोऽयं सनातन इत्यनामिकाभ्यां नमः. Then finger remaining is the small finger. पश्य मे पार्थ रूपाणि शतशोतसहस्रशः इति कनिष्ठिकाभ्यां नमः. कनिष्ठिका, the small finger. पश्य मे पार्थ रूपाणि शतशोतसहस्रशः इति कनिष्ठिकाभ्यां नमः. Having purified all fingers, now we purify the palms. नानाविधानि दिव्यानि नानावर्णाकृतीनि च इति करतलकरपृष्ठाभ्यां नमः. Watch it again. नानाविधानि दिव्यानि नानावर्णाकृतीनि च इति करतलकरपृष्ठाभ्यां नमः इति करन्यासः. So this is karanyas in short. It may take a little long to explain it, but if you do it, it won't take more than 1 or 1.5 minutes. I will do it quickly without explaining anything. अथ करन्यासः. ओम अस्य श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता माला मंत्रस्य भगवान् वेदव्यास ऋषिः अनुष्टुप् श्रीकृष्णः परमात्मा देवता. अशोच्यानन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे इति बीजम्. सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज इति शक्तिः. अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचा इति कीलकम्. नैनै छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावक इत्यगुष्टाभ्यां नमः न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापो न शिशु इति मारुता इति तर्जनीभ्यां नमः अच्छेद्योऽयमदाह्योऽयम् अक्लिद्यो शोषयोज इति मध्यमाभ्यां नमः नित्यसर्वगतस्थाणुरचलोऽयं सनातन इत्यनामिकाभ्यां नमः पश्चिमे पार्थरूपाणि शतशोतसहस्रश इति कनिष्ठिकाभ्यां नमः नानाविधानि दिव्यानि नानावर्णाकृतीनि च इति करतलकरपृष्ठाभ्यां नमः इति करन्यासः. So it won't take much time. Having completed Karanyas, we'll go to Hridayadinyas, our heart, Hridayadinyas. Now, before we do the Hridayadinyas, we should understand what is Hridayadinyas. Before reading Bhagavad Gita, it is a short and sacred purification ritual in which we touch certain parts of the body, mainly the heart, the head, the shoulders, and the hands. It installs the energy of Gita, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, and the mantra into our body and mind system. So we can read Gita with purity, with concentration, and with devotion. So what is Hridayadinyas? Hridaya is heart. Hridaya is heart. Adi is starting with, beginning with. And Nyas we discuss, placing or establishing mantra energy in heart. So Hridayadinyas means touching the heart first, then other major centers of the body while reciting sacred mantras, shlokas from Bhagavad Gita. It is a part of Gita Dhyan ritual. And the shlokas what we chant with this are mainly from 2nd Adhyaya and some from 18th Adhyaya. So why do Hridayadinyas should we do it before reading Bhagavad Gita? Purification. Cleanses mind, senses, emotions before studying Bhagavad Gita. Invoking Krishna within us. You prepare the body as a temple for receiving the divine knowledge. Better concentration. Nyas grounds the mind and removes the distraction. And protection. Symbolically, it protects us by placing divine energy in vital centers of our body. So in simple words, Hridayadinyas, chanting of mantras while touching heart, head, shoulders, eyes, body for purification before reading Bhagavad Gita. Now, having known what is Hridayadinyas, we'll perform Hridayadinyas. How to perform it? Kindly observe my movements. Atha Hridayadinyasah, heart. Your right palm on the heart. Atha Hridayadinyasah, नैनै छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावका इति हृदया नमः न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापो न शोषयति मारुता इति शिरसे स्वाहा. शिरसे स्वाहा. अच्छेद्योऽयमदाह्योऽयम् अक्लेद्यो शोष एव च इति शिखाय वषट्. Shikhai Vashat. Shikhai Vashat is, Shikhai is that place where the Panditji they put their choti, no? So that place is Shikhai. So Shikhai Vashat. Nitya Sarvagata Sthanu Rachaloyam Sanatana iti Kavachayahum. You have to put both palms here and roll it around our body. Kavachayahum. We are creating a sacred sort of kavach around our body before we start reading Bhagavad Gita, so that we don't get distracted in the material world. Nitya sarvagata sthanu rachaloyam sanatana iti kavachaya hum. Kavachaya hum. Pashyame partharupani shatashotasasraja iti netratrayaya vaushat. Netratrayaya vaushat. We have 3 netras. 2 here and 1 in the middle here. So netratrayaya vaushat, we purify our 2 netras and 3rd netra with chanting of the shloka. Pashyame partharupani shatashotasasraja iti netratrayaya vaushat. Then nana vidhani divyani nana varna kritini cha. Nana vidhani divyani nana varna kritini cha. Iti astraya phat. When we say nana vidhani divyani nana varna kritini cha, we have to roll our hand. Some people say clockwise, some people say anti-clockwise. You have to roll your hand around your head. And then astraya phat. Astraya phat is an announcement that our Nyas is over now. Now we say Shri Krishna Prityathe Pathe Viniyogaha. So this was the Nyas. I will do it again quickly. You'll see that it won't take more than a minute. Atha Hridayadinyasaha Nainai Chindanti Shastrani Nainan Dahati Pavaka iti Hridaya Namaha na chainam kledayantyapo na shoshiti maruta iti chirusai swaha अच्छेद्यो यमदाह्यो यम अक्लेद्यो शोष एव च इति शिखाय वषट् नित्य सर्वगत स्थाणुरचलोऽयं सनातन इति कवचायहं पश्य मे पार्थरूपाणि शतशोधसहस्रशा इति नित्यदाय वौषट् नानाविधानि दिव्यानि नानावर्णाकृतीनि च इति अस्त्राय फट् श्रीकृष्णप्रीत्यर्थे पाठे विनियोगः. Now we read the prarthana and we start to understand what is the meaning of this prarthana that we read before reading of Bhagavad Gita. The prarthana. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshiniim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayinim Ambatvāmanusandadhāmi Bhagavad Gīte Bhavadveshinim. This is the first look of our prarthana. We'll try to understand what does it mean. Parthaya Pradibodhitam Bhagavatam Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratham Puranamrina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshiniim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayinim Ambatvāmanusandadhāmi Bhagavad Gīte Bhavadveshinim. In simple English, it means I meditate upon Bhagavad Gita, which was taught by Lord Narayan himself to Arjuna, which was compiled by the ancient sage Maharishi Vedavyas and placed in the heart of Mahabharata, Madhye Mahabharatam. It is the Divine Mother, Divine Mother, showering the nectar of Advait, Advaitamrita Varshinim, consisting of 18 chapters and destroying all worldly sorrows and fears. So, Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam, taught to Partha, to Arjuna, by the blazed Lord Narayan himself, Swayam. That means, Shri Krishna Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord Narayan, personally instructed Arjuna with this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Vyasena Grathitam Puranamrina Madhye Mahabharatam. Second line. Compiled by the ancient sage Purana Munna Maharishi Vedavyas, placed within Mahabharata, Madhye Mahabharatam. So Maharishi Vedavyas placed the Gita beautifully within the epic of Mahabharata. Advaitamrita Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayinim. The Divine Mother who rains nectar of Advaita, oneness, Advaitamrita Varshinim, comprising 18 chapters, Advaita Amrita Varshinam, raining the nectar of non-duality. See, there are two words, Advait and Dvait. Dvait is, I am different, God is different. Advait is, me and God are same. We are not different. So that is Advaitavad. Advaitamrita Varshinim, the raining nectar of this non-duality. Oneness with the God. Bhagavatim, the divine scripture, Bhagavad Gita, Ashtadashaadhyayini, consisting of 18 chapters, as we know. So the Gita pours out the immortal nectar of spiritual unity and contains 18 chapters of divine wisdom. Next, Ambatva manasandadhami Bhagavad Gīte Bhavadveshinim. O Mother Bhagavad Gita, I meditate upon you, the destroyer of worldly suffering. Here Amba means the mother. Tvam anusandhanimi means I meditate upon you. Then Bhagavad Gita is Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavad Veshinim means the destroyer of worldly sorrows or worldly existences. So that is, the meaning is, the devotee bows to Gita as the Divine Mother, Amba, who removes the bondage, ignorance and sorrow. So the entire summary of this prarthana will be, I meditate on the sacred Bhagavad Gita taught by Lord Krishna himself, Narayan himself to Arjuna, compiled by sage Maharishi Vedavyas, placed in Mahabharata. This divine scripture, the mother showers the nectar of non-dual wisdom, Advaita, non-dual wisdom consisting of 18 chapters and removes all sorrow and worldly bondage. So this is in short the prarthana. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grahidam Puranamrina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrita Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayinim Ambatva Mrutandami Bhagavad-Gīte Bhagavad-Gīta. Second sloka of this Prarthana is Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullarvinda Yatapatra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharataila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha. Namostute, Namostute, salutation to you, Vyasa, Maharishi Vedavyas, the sage who compiled Mahabharata. Vishala Buddhe, one of a vast and expansive intellect, Vishala Buddhe. Pulla Arvinda Ayata Patra Netra, whose eyes are wide and beautiful like fully blossomed lotus petals. Yena, by whom, Tvaya, by you, Bharataila Purnaha, filled with the oil, tail is oil, filled with the oil of the great Mahabharata. Prajvalit, Prajvalit is to lit, to ignite. Jnanamaya Pradipaha, the lamp of pure knowledge. So it means, the sloka reads, Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullaravinda Yatapatra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharataila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha. Salutation to you, Maharishi Vedavyas, whose intellect is vast, Vishala Buddhe, and whose eyes are wide like petals of fully blossomed lotus. By you, the lamp of knowledge, filled with the oil of Mahabharata, has been lit and made to shine brightly. So this is the word-to-word meaning of this second sloka. The deeper meaning of this is, Maharishi Vedavyas' mind is compared to lotus, symbolizing purity and clarity. The Mahabharata is described as the oil that keeps the flame of knowledge burning. The lamp of knowledge is Bhagavad-Gītā itself, a shining light for the world. This shloka expresses gratitude to Maharishi Vedavyas for giving this eternal wisdom to the entire humanity. Third shloka, Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vaitraika Panaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Geeta Mrutuduhe Namaha. Prapanna Parijataya, to him who is like the wish-fulfilling celestial tree, Parijat, for all who surrender to him, Prapanna Parijataya. Totra Vaitreka Panaye, who holds in one hand the goad, that means the whip, and the stick symbolizes the guiding, as a guidance to the devotee. So Totra Vaitreka Panaya, Pani is hand. Jnana Mudraya, this is Jnana Mudra. Jnana Mudraya Krishnaya, who shows the gesture of knowledge, this mudra, with other hand. So in one hand he has that stick, and in another hand Jnana Mudra. Krishna is Lord Krishna, of course. Geeta Mrutudhe, the one who milked Duhe, the nectar of Bhagavad Gita. Namaha, I bow down, I offer my salutations. So the meaning of this sloka will be Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vaitreka Panaye Jnana Mudraya Krishnaya Geeta Mrutudhe Namaha. Salutation to Lord Shri Krishna, who is like a wish-fulfilling tree to all who surrender to him, who holds the goad and staff in his one hand and the gesture of knowledge in the other, and who has milked the immortal nectar of Bhagavad Gita for the upliftment of the world. The spiritual meaning of this sloka will be, Shri Krishna is the Parijat tree. You know the Parijat flower, no? Beautiful. So is the Parijat tree fulfilling the deepest spiritual yearning for of a surrendered soul. The goad and the staff symbolizes, staff is the stick in his hand, it symbolizes his role as the divine guide who lovingly directs the seekers. Jnana Mudra represents the highest knowledge. Gita Mrutudha means Sri Krishna is the one who brought out the nectar of Gita from the ocean of Mahabharata for the humanity. Next sloka, Vasudeva Sudan Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. I bow down to Lord Krishna, the divine son of Vasudeva. the destroyer of tyrants like Kansa and Chanur, the supreme joy of his mother, Devaki Nandana, Devaki, and the teacher of entire universe, Jagat Guru. So Vasudeva Sutam. Sut is the son of Vasudeva. Vasudeva is Vasutam. Devam is the god, divine. Kaunsa Chanura Mardana. The crusher. Mardanam is to crush, to slay. So the crusher, slayer of Kansa and Chanur. See, this refers to the episode of Krishna's early life. Kansa was his maternal uncle and oppressor. Chanur and other demons were the agents of Kansa. Shri Krishna's killing of Kansa marks the liberation of people from tyranny. Kansa often represents the adharma, unrighteousness, ignorance, and ego. Krishna as Mardanam implies divine action that destroys the evil and the ignorance. And the devotional emotion is, this line recalls the heroic protective aspect of Bhagavan Shri Krishna, the protector of righteousness. Devaki Paramanandam, supreme joy of Devaki. Devaki, Krishna's mother. Paramanandam, Param Ananda. Param is supreme, supreme bliss, ultimate joy. He who is the highest delight of Devaki, Paramananda. So devotional undertone of this line is, the sight of Krishna gives the parents and devotees transcendental joy. It also points to bhakti, loving devotion, as a path where emotional parental love becomes a vehicle for the divine. So Devaki Paramananda. Krishnam Vande. I salute, I bow down to Krishna. And Jagat Guru, he is a Jagat Guru, the world teacher, the teacher of the universe, Jagat Guru. See, this meaning, Krishna is not only a playful child or a heroic slayer, but he is Jagat Guru, the universal spiritual master. It connects Sri Krishna to roles like teacher of the Bhagavad-Gītā, cosmic guide, and the remover of spiritual ignorance for all beings. In many Bhakti and Vedanta traditions, Jagat Guru signals the one whose teachings reveal the ultimate truth and liberate the world. So this is Jagat Guru Bhagavan Shri Krishna. So this means I bow down to Krishna, the shlokas, and then the son of Vasudeva, Vasudeva Sudan Devam, Kansuchanur Mardanam, Devaki Paramanandam, Krishnam Vande Jagaduram. I bow down to Krishna, the divine son of Vasudeva, the destroyer of tyrant Kansa and Chanur, supreme joy of his mother Devaki. I salute Shri Krishna, the world teacher, Jagadguru. It removes from the personal son of Vasudeva, delight of Devaki, to the public, historical, destroyer of tyrants, and then to the universal, Jagadguru. So starts with son of Vasudeva, then destroyer of tyrants like Kansa and Chanur, then the delight of Devaki Nanda, and then becoming Jagadguru. This progression reflects how Bhakti portray, how the Bhakti poetry often blends love, heroism, and ultimate spiritual authority. Love, heroism, and ultimate spiritual authority describing the God. So these all three qualities have been explained in this line. Next shloka. Bhishmadrona tata jayadratha gandhara nilotpala shalyagrahavati krupena vani karnena velakula ashwathama vikarna ghora makara duryodhana vartini sotirna khalu pandavairna nadi kaivartaka keshavaha. See, interesting. Bhishmadrona tata. Bhishmadrona as the banks, kinare. Jayadratha jala. Jayadratha jala, Jayadrath as water. Gandhara Nilotpala as blue lily. Gandhara, that means Shakuni, the prince of Gandhar, as the blue lily in that river. Shalya Grahavati, Shalya shark. Krupena Vahani, with Krupacharya as the speed of water's flow. Vahani. Karnena Velakula, with Karna as its breakers. Ashwathama Vikarna Ghora Makara. Ashwathama Vikarna as the killer whales in that river. Duryodhana Avardini. Duryodhana as the whirlpool. Sa Rananadi. That river of battle, Pandavai, by Pandavas, Khalu. Indeed, Uttirna was crossed over Kaivartaka, the boatman, being Keshava, Lord Krishna. With Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya as its banks, Bhishma Drona Tata, Jayadratha as its water, Gandhara, that means Shakuni, as the blue lily, Shalya as the shark, Krupacharya as the speed of water's flow, Karna as its breakers, Ashwathama and Vikarna as its killer whales, and Duryodhana as its whirlpool. Whirlpool sucks everything, no? The river of battle was indeed crossed over by Pandavas because of the boatman, Lord Krishna. So Pandavas, Pandu's sons were 5 numbers, as we know. The oldest son was Yudhishthir, Dharmaraj. The second son was Bhima, then Arjun, who appears in Bhagavad-Gītā. Arjun was the third son. The fourth and fifth were Nakul and Sahadev. Now the river of battle. It is said Pandavas crossed the river of battle, Rananadi, which is described poetically in this slok. Every river must have 2 banks, किनारे होते हैं हर नदी के, within which the water flows. Without banks, there would be no river at all. Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya are the 2 banks of this river of battle. Bhishma Drona, Bhishma, the Arjuna's grandfather, and he was the eldest in the family and a man of great vows. Bhishma Pratidya. He was considered invincible even though he was an old man. Bhishmacharya was such a great warrior that he never lost a battle in his life. Only trickery could destroy him. That is what it happened in Mahabharata war. Shikandi went in front of him, and that was the reason. So Dronacharya was a great archer, as we know. He was the guru of Arjuna. He taught the archery to Arjuna and his brothers as well as to his cousins. Duryodhana. Both Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya were in Duryodhana's ranks against Pandavas. Tragedy. Duryodhana took care of them during the 13 years that the Pandavas were in exile, and they were committed to the throne of Hastinapur. That's why they had to take necessarily the side of Kauravas. Duryodhana pampered them so much that they felt obliged to him, and he made sure that they felt obliged. Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya were his strength, and because of them, he thought he could win the war. He had one more important ally in Karna. Therefore, these 3 people were the indirect causes of this war. Without them, Duryodhana would definitely not venture into this Mahabharata war. Now, in a river, there are always whirlpools. Bhavra hota hai na ek nadi mein, whirlpool. In this shloka, Duryodhana is compared to that bhavra, that whirlpool, because anyone who went near to him got sucked. Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya went to him, close to him, they got sucked by this whirlpool of Duryodhana. Once caught in a whirlpool, it is very difficult to get out. Like Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya could never get out. They all got sucked into his battle. Bhishmacharya, Dronacharya, Karna, his uncle, all of them got sucked because of this whirlpool of Duryodhana. Even though they were all very kind to Pandavas, Duryodhana was able to drag them into his grip because he was such a scheming person. Whirlpool. Duryodhana and other allies, see, although Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya were the banks of the river of this battle, the river would have been empty if Jayadratha, the water compared to Jayadratha, and his huge army had not been there. Jayadratha provided the manpower, and therefore it is described as the flowing water, Jayadratha. There are areas in the river where the water collects and remains. This is where the blue lilies grow, making the river not only beautiful but difficult to move through because of their entangling stalks. The prince of Gandhara, that means Shakuni, is referred to here as blue lily in that river. The river being described here was one that had sharks in it. Shalya is likened to the shark. It is called the great grabber. He was Karna's charioteer and was considered the greatest driver. The charioteer is very important in battle. We see it. He must have not only had great expertise in driving, but he must also encourage the warrior whose chariot he is driving. But during the battle of with Pandavas, Shalya discouraged Karna many occasions, as much as he could, because of a promise he had made earlier to Pandavas. So though he was charioteer of Karna, he always spoke insulting Karna. The current in this river was very fast. Its speed was provided by Krupacharya. Because of Karna, it was full of breakers. Ashwathama, the son of Dronacharya, was a great archer and also a killer. Vikarna was one of the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra. These two, Ashwathama and Vikarna, were the youngest and are described as killer whales. Crossing the river of battle, how was it possible for Pandavas? To cross such a terrible river is not easy. It is only possible by boat. You can't swim over. Swimming across is impossible. Because of all these whales, whirlpools, Makara, Duryodhana, all that, whirlpools and all that, and the breakers, Karna. Even a boat may not make it. There is, however, a way. If Krishna Bhagavan is the boatman, you can cross this river of samsara. We too face the various problems mentioned in this. We have whirlpool problems in our life. We have breaker problems in our life. We have hail problems in our life. All sorts of problems mentioned in this shloka are there in our life even today. If Lord Krishna becomes our boatman, then we can definitely make it. We can definitely cross over this samsara. Next shloka. Parasharya vachas sarojam amalangeeta gandhotkadan nanakhyanaka kesaram harikatha sambodhana bodhitam loke sajjana shatpadairahara pepiyamanam muda Bhuyad Bharat Pankajam Kalimala Pradvansina Shreyase. Parasharya Vacha Sarojam. Parasharya Vacha Sarojam, the lotus born of waters of the words of the son of Parashar. Who was son of Parashar? Maharishi Vedas. Geeta Gandhotkatam. Having the Geeta as its sweet fragrance. Nana Akyanakam Kesaram. With many stories at its statement in Mahabharata. Harikatha Sambodhana Abodhitam. Fully opened by the revealing stories of Lord Hari. Loke, in the world. Sajjana Shatpadai, by the honeybees who are right thinking people. Sajjan. Aharaha, day after day. Muda, happily. Pepiyamanam, being relished. Kalimala Pradvamsi, the destroyer of blemishes in Kali Yuga. Amalam, spotless. Bharata Pankajam, the lotus of Mahabharata. Nashriyase, for our good. Bhuyat, may be. So may the spotless lotus Mahabharata, born of the waters of the words of son of Parashara, that is Maharishi Vedavyas, having the meaning of Bhagavad Gita as its sweet fragrance, with its many stories as stamens, fully opened by the revealing stories of Lord Hari, released happily day after day by the honeybees who are the right thinking people of the world. This lotus of Mahabharata, which destroys the blemishes of Kali Yuga, may it be for our good. So in the praise of Mahabharata, this slok is for the praise of Mahabharata itself. It says, let it be for the good of all people. Let it be beautiful lotus epic for our moksha, liberation, the most desired end of our human life. It destroys all of the problems of Kali Yuga. Kali is that which is selfish. Any evil is called Kali. Kali Yuga is a yuga, a time period when people become easily caught up in their own likes and dislikes, rag and dvesh. That is Kali Yuga. Mahabharata has a number of guidelines for people to follow. It talks about ethics, personal, social, political values, and even logistics. The lotus that is Mahabharata, what kind of lotus is Mahabharata? Just like in any other lotus, it is born of water. It comes from water of words of Maharishi Vedas. This water of words springs from the mouth of Maharishi Vedas, the son of Parashar Rishi. Also, this word lotus is as clean as the lotus in the pond. It has strong, sweet fragrance of the meaning of Bhagavad Gita. A meaning is something, sometimes something silent sometimes. It is something that you understand. You can repeat a word because it is a sound, but its meaning is always silent, isn't it? You can see a flower, but the smell cannot be seen everywhere. You can only sense it. Similarly, the meaning of Bhagavad Gita makes the whole Mahabharata wrapped with fragrance. This epic is the lotus that exudes the fragrance of the meaning of Bhagavad Gita. There are many small stories in Mahabharata. We know umpty number of stories from Mahabharata. These stories are like the rows of stamens of the lotus. The stamens of the saffron flower are the most fragrant, whereas stamens of the lotus are known for their beauty. If the Gita is the fragrance of Mahabharata, then the stories are like the stamens of this impart they impart the beauty to this lotus, to this Mahabharata. Because of Krishna's presence in Mahabharata, it is the Lord's story. It is Harikatha. Without it, Mahabharata would be a lotus that had not yet bloomed. The opening of the bud generally requires the sun. Here the Lord's story is the sun. It opens the Mahabharata with devotion. It provides the light necessary for its opening. The Gita is being enjoyed happily. People are drinking deeply from it, taking more and more day after day. And who are these people? They are likened to an insect with 6 legs, the honeybee, for instance. The human beings have 5 sense organs plus the thinking intellect. Sajjana Shatpadi Raharaha. Some extra intellect is necessary to extract the nectar from this epic flower that is called Bhagavad Gita. The people who enjoy the Gita are therefore thinking people, those who use their intellect. Let this Gita, which is the destroyer of all problems in Kali Yuga, of the problems caused by the likes and dislikes, Rag and Dvesh, be for the good of all people. Now the next sloka is in the praise of God, who says, I salute the God. The meaning of this sloka will be, I salute the God who is the all Ananda, joy, fullness, whose form and expressions are Ananda, who is Lord Krishna. Next sloka, Mugangarodi vachalam pangulangayate girim yat krupadamaham vande paramananda madhavam. Yat krupa, whose grace, Mukam, the mute, vachalam, eloquent, karoti, makes, pangum, the one who is lame, girim, mountain, langayate, to climb over, to scale, tam, him, Paramananda Madhavam, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, the Lord of Lakshmi, whose nature is fullness. Aham Vande, I salute, I bow down. I salute Lord Shri Krishna, the Lord of Lakshmi, that means wealth, whose nature is fullness, whose Krupa, grace, makes the mute eloquent and causes the lame to scale mountain tops. Madhava is another name of Lord Shri Krishna, as we know, one who has all the resources and wealth with him. Madhava, husband of Lakshmi. Who is Bhagwan, the Lord? I salute the one who is Madhava, Bhagwan, and whose expression and essential nature is fullness, Ananda. The Lord grace, this slok adds something more, grace, Krupa. Grace is something that is earned. It is not something that the Lord randomly distributes day after day. No. If he did, he would be partial. जो भक्ति करता है उसको भी ग्रेस, जो नहीं करता उसको भी ग्रेस. That is not possible. No? That is not the case. Grace is a graceful expression of karma phala. Karma that you do, and phala is the result of what you do. So prayer is an action. Prayer is also a karma, an action. Because it is an action, it necessarily produces the result. The result is twofold. Seen, drashta phala, and unseen, adrushta phala. One example of this seen result is the psychological benefit of the prayer. The very fact that you are able to pray is itself a benefit. Also a result of prayer, there can be the psychological benefit, having someone upon whom you can rely. Any individual has limitations, whereas the one you pray to is looked upon by you as limitless. Even without understanding, the Lord is looked upon as someone who is omniscient, Sarvajnani. And what is omniscience? All-knowingness. The one who understands totally what it means to be omniscient, to be all-knowing. To understand all knowledge, you must be all-knowing. However, our knowledge is limited. Human being knowledge is limited. From this limited knowledge, we can always know a little more, but that also will be limited. What we can very easily understand, however, is the limitation in knowledge. This much we know, that our knowledge is limited. From that, we are also able to appreciate that the omniscient person is free from limitations with respect of knowledge. This is what is meant by having the appreciation of omniscience. Now, the result of prayer is a karma, as we said, and it produces immediate results, the visible result. That you are able to invoke Lord is a result with your prayers. You have someone to rely on. Someone who is all powerful, almighty, all knowledgeable. Thus, the immediate benefit of your experience, because you are able to pray, is that there is someone for you who is all knowledge, upon whom you can draw whenever and as much as you want. This is the drashta phala, the seen result you experience in our day-to-day prayer. This is also adrushta phala, unseen result of the prayer. This is what we call as grace. Grace is adrushta phala. Drashta phala we can experience in our life, but adrushta phala, grace of God, very few people can get that, which accounts for the benefits which we cannot attribute to the particular day's prayer. आज प्रार्थना की और ग्रेस मिल गया, ऐसा नहीं होता है ना. You do the prayer one day, you may get drashta phala, but adrushta phala, when it will be bestowed by God, we don't know. And how does it come to you? How does the grace come to us? Grace is earned in the same way as that you earn anything else. Since you are not able to relate an unseen result to a given course of action on your part in the immediate past, we are constrained to call it this result as grace. We don't know why it has come. Past we might have done some punya karma. This grace is able to convert a mute into a person who is eloquent. Mukam karoti vachalam. Unable a lame person to climb a mountain. Pangul langayate girim. This is the grace. This is the adrushta phalam. Kalidas, the celebrated poet, was considered to be a mute, but because of grace, he began pouring out verses, shloka after shloka. Similarly, Valmiki, we know, famous, became a great poet out of grace. In day-to-day life, we often hear various stories of the disappearance of incurable diseases. In Gita Pariwar, we have experienced many people who are not able to speak, but after learning Bhagavad-Gītā, their pronunciation has become very clear. Cancer suddenly vanishes because of grace of God, and no one knows how. We call it grace because the causes are not known to human mind. You can call such happenings as grace, accident or chance, whatever you call it. But it is the grace of God. However, a perceptive person with a certain maturity and understanding of Ishvara appreciates these as unseen results of what we call as grace, adrushta. So this is the invisible result of the prayer. In a prayer, what you really release is an invisible force causing the adrushta phala, the unseen result. The very system, the laws that produce certain results which are not visible to us are reorganized by prayer. Certain elements are introduced through prayer into this invisible system, causing it to reorganize itself. However, we do not know how it will be reorganized. That is why the results are said to be caused by the grace of God. And grace, therefore, is something that we receive purely as a result of our own karma. Actions done either in our immediate past or in the remote past. कब किया है पता नहीं. Because of this result, this grace, certain situations happen in our favor. Sometimes we also get surprised how it has happened. What is generally taken as impossible is made possible by the grace of God. In fact, all life is like that. The impossible is made possible because of grace of God. So with this cloak, I salute Bhagwan, the one by whose grace the mute becomes eloquent and lame scales the mountain tops. Mukham karti vachalam pangul langede girim. By whose grace the impossible is made possible. Okay, we'll proceed with Gita Mahatmya now. Geeta shasmidam punyam yah patet pretah puman Vishnah padamavapnoti bhaishokadi varjitaha. Simple meaning is, this sacred scripture, Bhagavad Gita, whoever studies it with devotion and sincerity, attains the supreme abode of Lord Vishnu and becomes free from fear, sorrow and mental suffering. Bhayashokadi varjitaha. So Gita is holy and purifying, punyam. Whoever reads it with pure heart and attention, paretat, pahet, is blessed with the highest spiritual state of Lord Vishnu, Vishnu padamavapnoti, and is freed from fear, grief and inner disturbances. Bhayashoka adi varjitaha. Next shloka. Geeta shasmidam punyah patit peta puman Vishnu padamavapnoti bhayashoka adi varjitaha. This we have read already. Geeta shasmidam punyah patit peta puman Vishnu padamavapnoti. This we have read. Now next shloka. गीतादेन शीलस्य प्राणायामपरस्य च नैव सन्ति पापानि पूर्वजन्मकृतानि च. गीतादेन शीलस्य. Gita, Bhagavad Gita, Adhyayan is study. Shilasya, of the one who has the habit or who is devoted to, of a person who is regularly studies Gita, is that Shilasya. Gītādhyayana Shilasya. Pranayama parasya cha. Pranayam, the breath control. Parasya, devoted to, engaged into. Of one who is devoted to pranayam practice. Naiva santi papani. So for one who is devoted to Gita study and to pranayam, there indeed remains no sins. Neither those done now or those committed in the previous births. Everything gets washed out. Next shloka. Malanirmochanam punsam jalasnanandine dine Sakrut Gītāṁ Vasisnānam Samsāramalanaśanam. Now this shloka of Bhagavad Gita Mahatmya, it contains two kinds of purification. One that cleans the body and one that cleans the soul. It touches that, it teaches us that while physical cleanliness is important, of course, yes, the purification of inner self, soul, is far more essential, because the real self, the real cause of suffering and bondage lies within us, not outside. Malanirmochanam punsam. The first line refers to the dust, the grime that gather on our external body, the dirt. Every day we move through the outside world, and our skin accumulates sweat, dust, waste, isn't it? Pollution, so much pollution is there now. This is a reminder of a universal truth. Living in the physical world naturally causes physical impurity. It cannot be avoided. It is the nature of human body. In the deeper symbolic sense, this pausa is, it also represents the minor, everyday disturbances of life. Stress, irritation, physical fatigue. This can be washed away by simple actions like taking rest, bathing, or grooming. They are superficial and temporary. But this line indirectly hints at the external impurity is the least of our problems. Main problem is our internal impurity. Jalasnanam dine dine, by bathing in water daily. This shloka acknowledges that daily cleansing is necessary. Bathing restores freshness and hygiene and is a discipline that keeps us fit. Just as we bathe daily, the slok implies that the spiritual practices do require regularity and mindfulness. But there is a subtle contrast. Although we take bath every day, the results are temporary. The dust returns again. Isn't it? आज नहा लिया तो क्या जिंदगी भर के लिए साफ हो गया क्या? Every day we have to take bath because the dust returns, and again we have to wash it. This introduces the idea of material purification is endless. Material purification is endless because it deals with body which is impermanent. Sakrut Gita Basi Snanam. But a single bath in the water of Geeta. Here the slok rises from the physical to spiritual plane. Geeta Ambasha, the waters of Geeta. Water here is symbolic. Water purifies, it cools, it nourishes the life. So does Bhagavad Gita. But on the spiritual level, one who immerses his mind even once in the teachings of Gita experiences a cleansing much deeper than the physical bath can offer. It can be offered. Why Sakrut? Just once. Because even a brief touch of the true wisdom can transform a person. Even one shloka understood deeply, one moment of clarity, one instant of realization can alter the direction of entire lifetime. The Gita does not demand anything extraordinary. Just once. One sincere dip. Take one sincere dip in Gita. That is the Gita's expectation in the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita. This does not mean you should read it only once. Instead, the shlokas says that even a little sincere study is powerful. That is what we have to take meaning of this. You have to read Gita every day, of course. Samsara malanashanam destroys the impurities of worldly existence. This is the heart of this shloka. Samsara malanashanam. What is samsara mala? The dirt of worldly life. It is not physical dust, but the accumulation of desires with no end. Anger that rises without control. Fear of loss and failure. Attachments that bind. Ignorance of who we truly are. Ego that binds us, and past karmic impressions that follow us, our purva samskars. These impurities are subtle but very heavy. They weigh down on our mind and make our life feel very difficult, repetitive and tiring. Unlike physical dirt, they cannot be washed away by water, unfortunately. This shloka declares that Gita is the purifier of these deeper impurities of human beings. How does Gita purify the mind? It teaches the difference between the self and body, the nature of permanent and impermanent, how to act without attachment, how to remain peaceful in success and failure, the reality of soul beyond birth and death, the presence of divine within us. You must be correlating the shlokas which give this message in Bhagavad Gita. These teachings slowly dissolve confusion, ego, fear, desire, the true stains of our samsara. Just as light automatically removes the darkness, wisdom of Bhagavad Gita automatically removes all inner impurities of human life. Why is this purification superior? Bhagavad Gita's way of cleansing is superior. Because physical dirt returns every day, but spiritual impurities reduce permanently. Study of Gita reduce your impurities permanently. Physical taking bath refreshes only the body. Gita bathing refreshes the soul, which we really are. Water purifies for a moment. Wisdom purifies for the whole lifetime. The ultimate message is purify the body every day, but purify the soul with Gita. Even one sincere dip in Bhagavad Gita wisdom wash away lifetimes of inner impurities. Next shloka. गीता सुगीता कर्तव्या किमन्य शास्त्र विस्तरैः या स्वयं पद्मनाभस्य मुखपद्माग्नि स्मृता. This slok from Gita Mahatmya is one of the most, should I say, celebrated declarations of Bhagavad Gita's supreme position among all spiritual texts. It explains why Bhagavad Gita deserves special attention. Even when there are thousands of scriptures available, each profound in its own way, Bhagavad Gita is super special. Through poetic language, the slok conveys four powerful ideas: necessity, sufficiency, divinity, and direct revelation. Gita Sugita Kartavya, Gita must be studied properly. The slok does not say Gita Kartavya, it adds Sugita, means rightly understood, properly interpreted, studied with devotion, grasped with the correct depth, and absorbed with clarity of mind. Many of us, we read Gita casually. People sit on sofa set and read Gita, one eye is on the TV. Like any other book they read, without entering into the inner meaning of Bhagavad Gita. This slok warns against that superficial approach of studying Gita. It asks the seeker to make the Gita as Sugita, well understood and deeply digested. That is Sugita. To study Gita means not just reading the Sanskrit, Ucharan, or even memorizing the slokas. It means allowing the teachings to transform one's life. Pujya Swamiji always says, Gita padhe padhaye aur jivan mein laye. That is Sugita. Actions, choices, and inner attitudes must be changed with study of Gita. It is possible to recite Gita daily and yet remain unchanged. Many people read Gita every day, but if you see their behavior, they have not changed at all. That is not Sugita then. But when the Gita becomes Sugita, grasped with correct understanding, the entire life begins to shift towards clarity and peace. Thus, the instruction is not mere reading, but reading with sincerity, reading with reflection, reading with humility. That is Sugita. Kimannai Shastra Vistaraihi. What is the need of other vast scriptures? Kimannai Shastra Vistaraihi. This is not a condemnation of other scriptures. Rather, it is a profound observation. The human mind is easily overwhelmed by too many spiritual pathways. Many people who study Geeta in Geeta Pariwar, they complete L4 and they say, हम आगे क्या करें? Which other thing we should study? Which other thing we should learn? हमको ये स्तोत्र सीखना है, वो स्तोत्र सीखना है. I always tell them, studying of Gita is enough. Go deep, as much deep as possible in Bhagavad Gita only. No need to run here and there. This shloka therefore comforts the seeker. You do not need to master everything. One scripture, the Gita, is enough. Kimani Shastra Vistaraihi. Because it contains the essential of Upanishads. It resolves the philosophical contradictions. It offers the practical guidance on how to live, how to act, how to think. It suits people of all temperament. Devotional, intellectual, action-oriented, contemplative, all types of people. It addresses daily challenges of life: anger, grief, fear, doubt, confusion. It is a complete pathway for liberation, Bhagavad Gita. Thus, the vastness of other scriptures becomes unnecessary for one who truly understands Bhagavad Gita. This statement reflects the spiritual boldness. Depths matter more than the quantity. You may be knowing 10 stotras, but depth is what matters. One scripture understood deeply is better than 100 read superficially. You may be chanting 100 stotras every day, but Bhagavad Gita, you go deeply into one scripture, more than enough. No need to read 100 stotras superficially. Ya Swayam Padmanabhasya, because this Gita comes directly from the Lord Padmanabh himself. Here the slok reveals the authority of Bhagavad Gita. Padmanabh, another name of Lord Vishnu, refers to the divine form whose navel the cosmic lotus emerges. In Bhagavad Gita context, it signifies the supreme, omnipresent consciousness. This shloka affirms that the Gita is not a human philosophical composition, nor a later commentary by sages. It is a Shruti, like wisdom, knowledge that originates from the divine itself. Padmanabha Swayam. Sri Krishna's teachings to Arjuna are not merely advice for a warrior in crisis. They are universal laws of the soul, spoken by the eternal divine being. Because Gita originates from the source of cosmic intelligence, it carries transforming power greater than ordinary literature. Mukha Padmad Vinisprata, it flowed from the lotus mouth of Lord. The lotus represents purity, beauty, transcendence. The lotus mouth symbolizes the speech arising from perfect purity and compassion. The Gita flowed from that mouth, meaning it emerged spontaneously, not through calculation or effort. The teachings of Bhagavad Gita were not pre-planned lectures. They arose naturally from the compassionate heart of Lord when Arjuna was lost in the sorrow. Hence, Gita is a divine grace in verbal form. We saw grace as Adrushtaphala. This is Drushtaphala. Gita's grace is a Drushtaphala. Words spoken to remove the confusion, despair, and inner darkness. Every slok contains the Lord's infinite compassion, clarity born out of perfect wisdom, power to remove sorrow and fear, guidance toward duty and liberation. Because this divine origin, the Gita is unique among all spiritual texts. Conclusion is why this slok matters today. In a world overflowing with information, spirituality too has become scattered and confusing. People don't know what exactly to study. People jump from one book to another, from one teacher to another teacher, without grounding themselves in one stable foundation. This shloka teaches us, hold on to Gita, don't run around here and there, understand it correctly, live it deeply. It contains everything you need in your life. The Gita is not one scripture among many, it is the distilled essence of all scriptures, the heart of Vedic tradition, the compassionate voice of the divine, guiding humanity towards freedom. So this is Bhagavad Gita. Gita is called Sugita because it's a perfect divine song. Okay, next. Yes, Swam Padmanavasya, Mukha Padmadini Smrita, we have done it. Bharatamrita Sarasam, Vishnu Rakta Smritam. So Gita is the essence of Mahabharata, the distilled spiritual nectar. Daily life application of this is, life is full of stories, experiences, teachings, but focus on the essence, truth, duty, devotion, selfless action. Don't get lost in trivial details. Gita Gangodakam Pitva Punarjanmana Vidyate. Like drinking holy waters of Ganga, imbibing Gita's wisdom purifies the mind and soul. How to apply it? Regular reflection, study, practice of spiritual principles lead to inner peace. Liberation from worry, from greed, from ego. So make it a habit to read a shloka of Bhagavad Gita every day. Meditate upon it. Do contemplation, manan chintan, and apply it in small daily actions. Patience, compassion, truthfulness. Apply this in your day-to-day behavior. Over time, these small steps lead to freedom from mental bondage, from stress and restlessness. So overall spiritual insight for daily life is simplicity over complexity. Focus on the essence of wisdom rather than endless theories. So start your day with reflection, Gita Sugita. Gita is a perfect divine song. It contains the essence of spiritual wisdom. Practice daily. Take 2 to 5 minutes. Pause for inner reflection every day. Or prayers for the decision. Ask, what would be righteous, truthful and compassionate for me to do today? Example, at work, before responding to a difficult email, pause and choose words that are honest but kind. Take a pause. Focus on essence. Vardamrut Sarvasam. Shloka insight. So Gita is a distilled essence of Mahabharata, prioritizes the essentials over trivialities. So as I said, spend some time daily reading of Bhagavad Gita, meditating, thinking about Gita shlokas that we study in the class. Next. Ekam shastram devaki putra geetameko devo devaki putra ekam. Eko mantra tasya namani ani karma pekantasya devasya seva. Ekam shastram. The one supreme scripture, Ekam shastram, spiritual insight. Among countless spiritual texts, Bhagavad Gita is complete, sufficient and timeless. It contains guidance on duty, karma, knowledge, jnana and devotion, bhakti. Daily application in life will be focus on core principle rather than being confused by too many philosophies in life. Treat Gita as the practical guide for daily decisions, not just as a theoretical book. When facing moral or ethical choices, refer to the principles like truthfulness, duty, and detachment, which are taught by Gita. Use Gita's teachings as a compass rather than seeking external validation constantly. Compass is one which gives us the direction. Devaki Putram Geetam, spoken by the son of Devaki. That means Lord Krishna. The Gita is divinely spoken. It comes from the conscious, compassionate and enlightened source, Bhagavan Shri Krishna. The speaker, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, exemplifies wisdom, courage and righteousness. Trust that spiritual guidance comes from the higher source within us. Seek to emulate Krishna's qualities in our own life. That should be the purpose of reading Gita. Calmness under pressure, fairness and clarity in our action. In conflicts, instead of reacting emotionally, take a pause, respond with clarity and balance, like Krishna's teachings to Arjuna on the battlefield. Eko Devam, the one supreme God. Krishna is not just a teacher, he is the supreme being, the source of all guidance and support in life. Recognizing the divine in our life brings confidence, surrender and purpose. Begin each day with a moment of devotion or gratitude to the Supreme, acknowledging that you are guided by Him only. Cultivate the faith that challenges are opportunities for growth and divine guidance is always available through Bhagavad Gita. Before a stressful presentation or task, mentally offer it to the divine. Let me do my duty wholeheartedly and I trust the outcome is in the divine hands. Karmanyavadikaraste. Devaki Putram, son of Devaki. This is a reiteration, of course. The repetition emphasizes Krishna's human form, Devaki Putra. He is both God and relatable as a guide in human life. Apply the Gita in everyday situations, whether it is family, work or relationships. Remember, the divine guidance is not just for meditation, but for the action in real life, real human life. Devaki Putra. Helping a friend selflessly, making ethical choices at work, maintaining patience with family. These are all the ways to live the teachings practically. Because Devaki Putra is also a human being, no? Overall, daily takeaways for us from Bhagavad Gita is focus on essentials. The Gita is sufficient. Don't get lost in endless text or advices. Divine guidance is available. Trust your conscious and higher wisdom. Act with righteousness. Align your actions with duty, truth, and compassion. Integrate spirituality in life. Spirituality is practical, not just theoretical. Surrender results. Work diligently, but let go of attachment to the outcomes. In short, this shloka reminds us that by living according to the divine teachings of Bhagavan Shri Krishna in Gita, every action, every thought, every decision can be guided towards the truth, balance, and inner peace, transforming daily life into a spiritual practice. Eko mantrasya namanyani karma pikantasya devasya seva. This is also a praise of Bhagavad Gita, or a general Vedic statement about spiritual focus. Eko mantrasya, the one mantra or the supreme teaching. Namani, names. Yani, which. Karma pekam, single or focused action. Tasya devasya seva is the service to that deity, or by doing this, one serves the Lord. So, one mantra, one name, and one action, by dedicating it sincerely, it becomes the service of the Supreme Lord. Only one mantra. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. One mantra is enough. When devotee focuses on one sacred mantra, one divine name, or one dedicated action, it is equivalent to serving the God directly. If you got a Guru mantra from your Guru, that mantra is the only one which we need to chant. Eko mantrasya. Spiritual focus must be simple and singular rather than scattered. Eko mantrasya. There are 1000 mantras. You can't chant every mantra. What mantra is given by your Guru is Eko mantrasya for us. Just as Shri emphasized in the Geeta, concentration on one path of devotion, knowledge or action, it brings results. No need to chant hundreds of mantras every day. One mantra, Eko mantrasya. Karma pekan, even daily duties karma, when done with focus, devotion and consciousness of God, become a spiritual service. Tasya devasya seva. Any dedicated single-minded act, be it mantra chanting, meditating on God, or selfless work, is recognized as seva, service to the God. So, Eko mantrasya namani ani karma pikan tasya devasya seva. How to apply it in the daily life? Eko mantrasya namani ani karma pikan. Pick one mantra. As I said, if given by your Guru, best. One sacred name. The mantra will have the name which you want to meditate upon, which you want to chant. One dedicated action. So select one spiritual practice to focus on consistently. For example, a short Gita shlok to read every morning. Single mantra like Om Namah Shivaya or Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya to chant daily. Only one mantra, not hundreds. One dedicated daily action like helping family, volunteering, and mindful work. Start small. Don't start a big way. Start small steps. Consistency is more important than quality. Today you are doing 1000 names chanting. Tomorrow you don't do anything. That is not allowed. Even if you do one mala every day, do it regularly, consistently. So karma pekan, even ordinary action can be spiritual if done with full awareness. Whatever task we do, whether it is cooking, cleaning, working, studying, do it mindfully. It is an offering to the divine. Then it becomes karma pekam. Avoid multitasking mindlessly. Concentrate fully on one action at a time. While writing emails or reports at work, silently dedicate it to God or Lord Krishna, thinking, may this work serve a higher purpose and be done with integrity. All that action becomes a divine action then. So these are all the small steps which we can learn from these shlokas. Pick one practice, mantra, action or devotional task. Focus fully, do it mindfully without distraction. Dedicate it to God. All actions become seva, divine service. Reflect daily, review and refine your focus every day. Consistency matters more than the quantity. By applying this, ordinary life becomes spiritual life. Ordinary work becomes sacred, and you gradually experience the peace, the purpose, and the divine connection. So this was the end of Gita Mahatmya. Now Athadhyanam. There are a couple of shlokas of Athadhyanam. Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharang Gaganasarusham Meghavarnam Shubhangam Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanayanai Yogivirdhanagamyam Vande Vishnum Bhavabhayaharam Sarvalokaiganatam. Shantakaram. These are all the names of Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu. Shantakaram, the one whose very form is peace itself. Vishnu's presence brings calmness and serenity. Those who have studied Vishnu Sahasranam, they will know all about the magical names of Lord Vishnu and their meanings. Bhujaka Shayanam, who reclines upon the serpent, Adishesha. He rests peacefully on the cosmic serpent, symbolizing infinity. Padmanabham, from whose navel springs the lotus, on which Brahmadeva is born. Symbol of creation, emerging from the divine, is this Padmanabham. Suresham, Sura Isha, Lord of gods. Vishwadharam, the support of entire universe. All creation rests on him, so he is Vishwadharam. Gagana Sadrusham, he who is like infinite sky, unbound, all pervading, like sky. Meghavarnam, who has the complexion of dark rain clouds, a symbol of depth, a symbol of compassion, and symbol of beauty. Shubhangam, whose form is auspicious and beautiful. Lakshmi Kantam, beloved goddess Lakshmi, is a beloved of goddess Lakshmi. Lakshmi Kantam, the lords of prosperity, fortune, and abundance, Lakshmi Kantam. Kamalanayanam, lotus side one, eyes full of compassion and purity. Yogivir Dhyanagam, reachable by yogis only through deep meditation. Yogivir Dhyanagam, ध्यान लगाएंगे तो गम्य उनको प्राप्त कर सकते हैं. He is realized through inner contemplation, meditation. Vande Vishnu, I bow down to Lord Vishnu. Bhava Bhaya Haram, the remover of fear of worldly existence, suffering, rebirth. That is Bhava Bhaya Haram. Sarvalokaikanatham, the supreme lord of all worlds, Sarvalokaikanatham. So, Shantakaram, Bhujagasayanam, Padmanabh, full meaning will be, I bow down to Lord Vishnu, whose very nature is peace, Shantakaram, who reclines upon the serpent Ananta, Bhujagasayanam, from whose navel springs lotus of creation, Padmanabham, Lord of all lords, Suresham, support of the universe, vast like sky, dark as rain clouds, and auspicious in the form, the beloved of Lakshmi, lotus-eyed, attainable through deep meditation by yogis, Yogivir Dhanagamyam. He removes the fear of worldly existence and is the sole master of all worlds. Next, Yatadhanam Shlok is Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marudastun Vandidivaistavai Vedai Sangha Padakramopanishadayir Gayantiyam Samagaha Dhyanavastitgatena Manasa Pashyantiyan Yogino Yasyantanna Vidusvara Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. So Brahma is Brahmadi, Brahmadev, Varuna, Indra, Rudra, Maruta. Self-explanatory. Varuna, Indra, Rudra, Maruta. Divi Stavai, with divine hymns of praise. Yam, whom, Stuvanti, praise. Samagaha, the singer of Samaveda. Vedai, by Vedas. Sangha, Upada, Krama, Upanishadai. Along with the Upanishads and the limbs of chanting such as Pada, Karma, and so on. Gayanti, to sing in praise. Yam, of whom Yoginaha, the contemplative yogis, Dhyana Avasthita Tata Katena Manasa, with a mind dissolved in him in a state of meditation. Yam, whom Pashyanti, see clearly. Sura Asura Ganai, Sura Asura Ganai, the celestial as well as demons. Yasya Antam, whose nature Navidu, do not know. Tasmai Devaya, unto him, the Lord, Namaha, my salutations. To the Lord, about whom Brahma, Varuna, Indra, Rudra, and Maruta Devatas praise with divine hymns. Yam Brahma Varuni Rudra Maruta Stunvandi Devaistavai. The one whom singers of Samaveda praise by singing with full complement of limbs of singing in order of Pada and Krama and the Upanishada, the one whom contemplative people see with minds resolved in him in a state of meditation, whose nature the celestials and demons do not know. Unto him, the Lord, my salutations. Yam Brahma Vrinindrudamatas Tunanti Divaistavir Vedai Sangpada Krama Parishider Gayantiyam Samagaha Dhyana Vastadgatena Manasa Pashyantiyan Yagno Yasyantan Vidusura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Can discuss detailed meaning of this, but time is not there, so we'll go to our next, the last of this, the Kshama Prarthana. Kshama Prarthana, why we did Kshama Prarthana? Because after reading the entire Bhagavad Gita, 700 slokas, we are all human beings, we might make mistakes, no? Raspa ka dirgha ho sakta hai, avagra we don't take, or the aghat we don't take. Many mistakes can happen. Even those who are who have learned by heart all 18 adhyayas of Gita, if they read every day, some mistake creeps in. You can't avoid it. So, Kshama Prarthana. Yasya smrutya jana amoktya tapo yajna kriyadishu nyunam sampurnatam ayati sadyo vandetam achyutam. By merely remembering him or uttering his divine name, any austerity, sacrifice, ritual, or righteous action, even if it is incomplete, imperfect, or deficient, becomes complete. Yasya smrutya jana amoktya tapo yajna kriyadishu न्यूनम संपूर्णताम आयति sadhye vande tama achyutam. So sadhya means even if it is incomplete, imperfect, deficient, becomes complete and fruitful at once. I bow down to that infallible Lord Achyuta. So yasya smritya, by remembering whom, the shloka says that the remembrance of Lord has extraordinary power. Even fleeting thought of God purifies the mind, elevates the heart, and fills actions with sanctity. Cha namoktya. And by uttering whose name, chanting the divine name itself becomes a purifier and protector for us. Whether the name is taken with full devotion or even casually, it carries the Lord's grace and brings spiritual upliftment. Cha namoktya. Tapo yajna kriyadishu, in austerities, tapas, in sacrifices, in yajnas, and all other sattvic righteous actions. All kinds of spiritual practices, tapa, penance, charity, rituals, worship, usually require discipline and correctness for the full benefit. But Lord's name has the power to sanctify all of them. Even if there's some lacuna here and there, Lord's name can take care of all. Nyunam sampurnataya. The incomplete becomes complete. If a ritual is done incorrectly, if a prayer lacks concentration, if a vow is not perfectly kept, the remembrance of God compensates all shortcomings. The Lord completes the deficiencies of his devotees. The humblest becomes the perfect when his name is invoked. Sadhyo, immediately, instantly. The transformation is instantaneous. No delay, no condition, no elaborate processes. Vandetam achyutam. I bow down to that infallible Lord Achyut. O Lord Achyut, you never fail in your grace. I bow down to you, who perfects my imperfect efforts. The essence of this shloka is, we may be imperfect, our rituals may be faulty, our meditation may wander here and there, our discipline may be weak, but God's name perfects what is imperfect. What we lack in devotion, discipline, and purity, he completes with his grace. It reminds us the power of God's name is greater than the power of our actions. Where human efforts end, divine grace begins. So without him, it would be there would be no Gita then. Now next shloka of this section of Prarthana is Yadaksharam padabhrashtam matrahinam cha yad bhavet tat sarvam kshamyatam deva narayana namostute. Yat aksharam, whatever letters, padabhrashtam, whatever words were wrongly pronounced during reading of Bhagavad Gita, mantrahinam, whatever syllable, bow, lengths were recited incorrectly, matrahinam, cha yad bhavet, and whatever mistakes have occurred, tat sarvam kshamatan devo. May all that be forgiven. Deva, O Divine Lord, Narayana, Lord Narayan, Namostute, salutation to you, I bow down to you. So, O Lord Narayan, whatever letters I mispronounced, whatever words I spoke incorrectly, and whatever mistakes occurred in the syllable or chanting Matrahina, please forgive them all. My salutations to you. Purpose of this sloka is humbly acknowledge any mistakes in chanting. Be honest. Acknowledge. Purify the act of reading or reciting the scriptures. Express surrender and devotion. Request divine forgiveness for imperfections. It reflects humility and respect towards the sacred knowledge. Visarga bindu matrani padava adaksharani cho nyunani chatirikta kshamasva parameshvaro. Visarga, the two dots that come, that is visarga sound, half a sound. Bindu, the nasal, the anuswar. Matrani, the vowel length or syllable. Matra. Pada, words. Pada, the parts of word. Charan, charan. Aksharani, letters or syllables. Nirani, wherever it is less, incomplete or omitted. Cha, and Atiriktani, wherever was taken extra, excessive or wrong. Kshamasva, please forgive. Parameshwara, O Supreme Lord. O Supreme Lord, please forgive any mistakes I may have made in pronouncing the visarga sounds, the nasal dots, anuswar, the vowel lengths, matra, words, phrases, or letters, as well as anything I recited less, left incomplete, or added incorrectly. Please forgive me. Purpose of this sloka is, it is a humble purification prayer recited after chanting scriptures like Bhagavad-Gītā or any stotra for that matter. Because our Sanskrit is not so perfect. Even Sanskrit scholars can make mistakes. To admit human imperfections in chanting, to seek forgiveness for wrong letters, missyllables, incorrect vowel lengths, extra words, incomplete chanting. It expresses the humility and devotion towards Bhagavad-Gītā when we read the slok at the end of our Gita Parayan. So with this, the entire syllabus of Nyas is over. We have completed Nyas, Karanyas, Vidadhi Nyas, Prarthana, Gita Mahatmya, then Adhyayana Shlokas, and this Kshama Prarthana. Thank you so much for your patience. Now the session is open for your questions. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Vivek Dadaji. As we conclude today's discourse, may the sacred practice of Nyas help us internalize Bhagavan's wisdom, placing his light gently upon our mind and heart both. With sincere gratitude, I bow and thank our today's boatman and Vivechak, Vikasji Vaidya Bhaiya, for illuminating these profound truths and helping us internalize them with clarity, depth, and devotion. As we all know, the great celebration of exciting Gita Olympiad has been launched with many exciting events. Please log into geetajayanti.com to register and participate in these Olympiads. Details are already shared on your participants group, which you all might have seen it already. Also, we are starting the 44th batch of level 1 classes. So we would sincerely encourage you all and request you all to share with your friends, family, and neighbors to register themselves and get the same enlightenment that we all are getting by being part of the Gita Pariwar from L1 to L4. 14 languages, as you know, now Manipuri is also added, and 2021's time slots are already there to give us flexibility, right? So now we request all the sadhaks who have their questions, raise their hands, and ideally, if possible, switch on the video cameras to ask the questions to Vikas ji Bhaiya. In case if you have joined through YouTube, please do connect through the Zoom link so that you can directly interact with Vikas ji Dada and get the complete clarity on the Vivechan that he has transferred us today with us.
नरेंद्र भैया
Naren Bhaiya,
you are unmute please.
yeah, I am sending him the unmute request. Naren
Thank
Bhaiya,
you. Thank
yes,
you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir, for your amazing interpretation, and I thank you immensely for sharing your wisdom. Thank you, sir. I would really appreciate if you could advise me as to how can one cultivate compassion, friendship, love, and empathy. How can one cultivate those qualities?
By deeply cultivating this thought in the mind that the same God who is in me is there in all others. So by treating them differently, I am treating God differently. Is it that God in me is superior than the God in him? God is same everywhere. So when we treat in equanimity everybody, all these qualities of compassion, friendship, they come automatically. This is the vision of equanimity. And Gita teaches equanimity. Samatva yoga uchyate. That is the foundation of Gita. To have the equanimity in thoughts, equanimity in action, equanimity in our own internal emotions, whether it is sukha, dukkha, labh, hani, whatever, or dealing with outside people. Vidyavana sampanya brahmane gavastani shuni chaiva shvakecha pandita samadarshana. Fifth adhyaya says this. A Brahman equipped with all vidya and humility, a cow, an elephant, a chandal, and a dog, Pandita Samadarshana. Because the Pandit sees that the same God exists in all of them. Maybe I was also a dog in the last birth, I don't know. In this birth, I am Brahmin who is well equipped with all knowledge. Then maybe next birth, this fellow also will become a Brahmin with the same knowledge. So I don't treat them differently. I treat them in equanimity. When we start looking people in equanimity, we stop fighting with them. We start getting, we don't envy them. We try to become a brotherly feeling with them. And that comes automatically. When our vision changes, vision of looking at the people. Today we look at them with a lot of selfish attitude. What will I gain from him? What will I gain out of this relationship with him? If that thought disappears and this thought comes in, that he and me are same, he is also a fragment of God, I am also a fragment of God, we are all the sons of God only, then that thought disappears. Then we get the pious sattvic feeling in our mind. So it's a question of sitting for meditation and realizing that we are not this gross body, we are not this sukshma sharir, the subtle body, we are not the causal body, karan sharir, we are the soul, atma, and we are the fragment of that Paramatma. And everybody is soul only. That is the message Lord has taught to Arjuna, that don't look at their bodies. Bodies are temporary. They will come and they will go. Look at the soul. So if we start changing our vision from body to soul, then we also will start following what Arjuna understood. And all his doubts got cleared. So our doubt will also get cleared if we start contemplating on these Bhagavad Gita shlokas in our daily meditation. Then our vision will also broaden, like Arjuna's vision got broadened, and we'll start doing our kartavya karma without any partiality in our thoughts, in our action.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Vikas Dada. Rajendra ji. Yes.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna Vikas Bhaiya.
Jai Shri Krishna.
We are very fortunate to hear your excellent explanation, especially on the concluding session. I am very much thankful to you, your beautiful explanation. My question is, despite all the good works, like chanting, you doing homa, yajnas and reading Bhagavad Gita and more, and any other pious books, having darshans in various temples, etc., there are many things, undesirable things are happening. And people do the things and pray God and forgive all the things. Will the God forgive such people? And second one is, why and when these things will stop happening in this world?
Okay, first question first. God has declared at couple of places in Gita, even if you are the sinnest of all sinners, but once the knowledge comes to you, you can cross over this world of samsara, of sukha dukkha, birth and death all. What God is talking of Jnana, which will help us to Jnana Plave is the boat of wisdom, is this Jnana. That I am a soul, I am not a body. I am not the karta. I don't do. Prakriti gets it done from me. When you start cultivating these thoughts, this message of Gita in our day-to-day life, whatever past mistakes have happened through you, the papa karmas have happened to you, God says your pap had happened because of your ignorance. When ignorance is washed out with the knowledge of Gita, then God says, "Jo ho gaya so ho gaya." You may be papi of all papis, but once you have gained this knowledge, forget about all those papas. Your pap will get cleansed with this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So when we get, we want to change ourselves, we have to sincerely apply the message of Gita in our day-to-day actions. As Swamiji always says, Gita padhe padaye aur jivan mein laye. If you start bringing this message of Gita in our life, even if we have committed number of papa karmas in our life,
Yes.
kama vasanas, bad habits, whatever, Valmiki could become, Valya Koli could become a Valmiki. So why we cannot become? Isn't it?
Yes.
When Valmiki was Valya Koli, he had killed many people. He has robbed many people. But he could become Valmiki. When you start, he got the Jnana from Narada. So when he can come Valmiki, why we cannot become? And that God has announced at a couple of places. In 6th Adhyay as well as in 9th Adhyay, God has announced this. That even if you have committed sin, don't blame yourself. Your actions have happened because of your ignorance. And your actions are happened through nature, through Prakriti. You are not the doer. Your lack of knowledge has caused this bad karmas happening through you. Once you get this knowledge, bad karmas will not happen through you. You can wash out your karmas of past.
Okay.
So we should not blame ourselves for our past.
Yeah.
God has removed this misunderstanding from our mind. If you say that मैं पापी हूँ इसलिए मैं अध्यात्म नहीं कर सकता, God has washed out this thought from our mind. तुम पापी हो ना, फिर भी अध्यात्म कर सकते हो. God has said this in Gita couple of places.
Yes.
So we should not think inferior about us. God is not saying, He is not calling us inferior just because you have done some papa karma in the past. He says, forget about it. Your past is past. Your future is still ahead, no? Think about the future. Think about the present. Don't waste your time in thinking about the past. You might have done a lot of bad things in the past. Is it going to help you? Instead of repenting on that, start afresh. So that is a great relieving message from Bhagavad Gita, that a papi can also become an adhyatmic person. He can also attain the God.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Vikas Dada. Any other questions? I don't see any hands raised. Please raise your hands if you have a question. Yes, Jagdish ji. Yes, Jagdish ji.
जय श्री कृष्ण भैया जी, प्रणाम।
Pranam.
भैया जी, ये न्यासो means cleansing of body parts so as to recite the sacred scriptures.
Yes.
And my takeaway is it is
Hmm.
required in case of sakam recitation, and is it not required for niskam recitation, bhaiya ji?
No. Then it is not mandatory. It is not
And
mandatory when your seva is nishkam, you are doing only for.
my question is, how can be a sadhak be a niskam chanter? And my second point is, I am a learner, and if I chant incorrectly, whether I am guilty of that. I am found as a guilty person.
No, you are not guilty. If your emotions, your bhakti, your devotion, your dedication is pure, then a small mistake in pronunciation does not matter. There is a story about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I don't know we have the time or not. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was a great sant from West Bengal. He used to travel from temple to temple, from village to village, and give discourses, spiritual discourses to all the villagers in that. Once he was staying in a temple, and he was with his disciples, group of disciples. So disciples were taking around in the temple, and they saw one old man reciting Bhagavad-Gītā. That temple was of Lord Krishna. So that old man was reciting Gita with a lot of mistakes in his pronunciation. So this disciple of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he saw it, he heard few slokas of him, then he stopped him. What are you reading? Is it Sanskrit? Your total pronunciation is totally wrong. You don't understand difference between Rasva, Dirgha, Avagra, Agad. You don't understand anything. Your pronunciation is wrong. Stop it. You are insulting Lord Krishna by reading wrong Gita. So that fellow felt very bad. But his 10, 12 years practice was, he would read Gita every day in that Krishna temple with whatever pronunciation he used to, and then offer prasadam to God, and then he would take the lunch himself. That day he did not complete Gita because he was stopped in between. He also started crying, saying that I was doing all injustice to Lord Krishna for all these days. I have troubled my God by reading wrong Gita. So he did not offer prasadam, he did not complete Gita, he did not offer prasadam to God. He also remained hungry himself, and he kept crying in a corner in the temple. In the night, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at 2 o'clock, he got suddenly, he woke up. Lord Krishna came to his dream saying that, because of you, I remained hungry today. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got up saying that, why? Lord Krishna has come in my dream to say this, that he remained hungry because of me. Then he called on the disciples, what happened in the temple today? Anything unusual happened? So he was told by the disciple that, yes, one old man was reading Gita very incorrectly. I stopped him and I said to him that learn Sanskrit first and then read Gita. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood this is the mistake he has done. He said, look for that man, where is he? So that old man was still sitting in the corner in the temple. He was called to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu begged to him saying that, Arey bhai, you are a better bhakta of Lord Krishna than me also. Because you do not offer prasad to Lord, Lord is remaining hungry. Your Gita, whatever you are chanting, whatever you are reciting, is acceptable to God. Because you are doing it with full devotion. So if we do our prayer, our Gita chanting with devotion, God will accept it. Of course, that does not mean we should do it anyway, which we want. And the purpose of this Kshama Prarthana shloka, what we have said, Yataksharam Padaprashtam Matarayam Chet Bhavet, is not that we should chant Gita the way we want and then say these shlokas in the end, so that God will pardon us. But emotions, our sentiment, our devotion, it does matter. Even a perfect reciter of Gita may not be able to 100% read all shlokas perfectly, 700 shlokas. I read Gita every day for last 7 years. But after the shloka is done, I realize that, oh, this shloka I have missed the aghat, or the aghat did not come the way it should have come. So this you realize after the shloka is gone already. So God is probably taking our test. Otherwise, become ahankari, become proud of ourselves. Oh, I am a great. I am reading Gita for so many years and I read it perfectly. Every day I realize I make some mistake in reading Gita, either one slok or two sloks, one word or couple of words. So don't feel bad if your pronunciation is here and there. Your learning is very much granted. Very much granted. Nothing wrong in it. Continue it. Don't leave it just because some mistakes are happening here and there.
Okay, Lakshmi Narayan ji.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
I'm taking tech seva for L4 classes after Sadhaka 2023. At the time also, when I was Sadhaka in L4, I was having doubt. And once again, now this class is going on. I thought this is correct time to ask them my doubt. Thing is, now, normally whatever chanting we are doing, we are thing is we have to do the Nyasas. Everything we will do, and after that we will the next is dig bandaha. We have to close the total circumstances so that any evil things should not come disturb our total process. And after that we do prarthana and Mahatma, anything, the benefits of that thing, everything there. Then after closing of that, we will do that we dig vimokaha. Whatever Hridaya Namaha, Shri, after that, iti digmokaha, then once again we'll do dhyana. So whatever binding, we have to bind that, you have to release that.
Yes.
Otherwise, only the binding will happen and that reversal of the binding. That is not happening in our Gita, our Gita Parayana. So why that Vimukha, that why we are not doing? Otherwise, only the binding. It should close. Only in pujas also, we will call Bhagavan and we will do all performances, Abhishek, everything, and we give perform some Naived. And after that, we will tell Yatasthana Gacha, Yatasthana Mudvasayame. We will send the God to his place. We will not keep him our as it is. So that Vimokha, that is importance there. But here it is not there. Why? That's doubt I am having.
See, in Nyas, we have created a Kavachaya home. We are creating a Kavach around us so that no negativity enters the place where we are reading Gita.
Correct.
That is the purpose of creating Kavach when we are doing Nyas. Okay. But when we are doing Athadhyanam Shloka Shantakaram, we are praising God, Yam Brahma Varnendra. And in the end, when we are doing Kshama Prarthana, that signals the end of our reading. When we are asking for Kshama, Kshama is generally asked at the end of our recitation. When we are doing Kshama Prarthana, that means our chanting of Bhagavad Gita has ended. Now, after ending of Bhagavad Gita, also, if that Suraksha Kavacha of Lord Krishna remains around us, why should we complain? Let it be there around us. Till the time God wants us to protect through that Kavach, we are happy. If we read Gita in the morning and if that Kavach remains around us for the whole day, we should be thankful to the God. Isn't it? God is not getting any burden out of giving protection to us. Do you think God is getting burdened because of getting protection to us? God is not getting burdened. It is natural. Yeah, it's a blessing that comes naturally to the God.
That when Mahatma is also there, whatever you chanting Bhagavad Gita, this benefits there, it is everything is there. But what chanting of Bhagavad Gita, we have to make dig bandhana. That bandhana is to be released. Otherwise, it is not, because any chanting that dig vimoka is there.
Maybe it is a part of karma kanda that you should release the God. But who are we to release the God? This is what I don't understand the concept. Are we tying the God? Do you think we are greater than God to tie him down?
No, not tying of God. We are doing ourselves to we are digbandhana, because
we are protecting ourselves. With this kavach, we are protecting ourselves. We are not protecting God, or we are not tying down the God. So who are we to release the God? By doing some mantra chanting, you think we are arresting the God and then releasing him after our Gita Patan?
My thinking is everything, even Savdan, Vishram, Savdan. Savdan is steady, will stand. Then after that, Vishram, we will do, because after that only we are dispersed, because we should not always tide ourselves, because Savdan position. Digbandhana means we will be the Savdan position. That is to be released, sir. That I am thinking.
But when we are doing Kshama Prarthana, which signals the end, as I said, we are releasing our discourse of reading Bhagavad Gita, that session is ending there when we are asking for Kshama Prarthana. So we should release our stress or our tension, whether we are reading Gita correctly or not, when we chant these 2 slokas or 3 slokas of Kshama Prarthana. That is the end. That is the way we can release ourselves from this action of reading of Bhagavad Gita. So there is a separate shloka for releasing ourselves from the clutches of God or from the clutches of Bhagavad Gita. In fact, we want that the Gita remains with us throughout our life. It does not leave us any moment.
That's correct. Normally,
So-
all Vedas chanting, after that Nyasas, once again, once we will do Karanyasa and Dhyana Shlokas will chant. Here it is not there.
You want to chant again?
That's I'm not whether it is required or not.
When?
After closing, after Kshamapana.
No, after Kshama Prarthana, nothing is good. That is the end of it. After Kshama Prarthana, it is the end of your recitation of that day. After that, no more shlokas are required. All that is to be done before. Nyas is to be done before you start reading Bhagavad Gita. We are invoking Krishna in us. That is what I said in the beginning. That is for purification of our senses, our organs, our mind, our soul, and invoking the Lord within us. Purification of mind and body is Nyas. And then we start reading Bhagavad Gita. So after completion of Bhagavad Gita, we don't do any rituals like Nyas. Nyas is to be done before it, not after it.
Okay.
Yes, okay. Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Vikas ji. Any other questions? Prashant ji, you want to ask? Okay. Prashant ji, please unmute yourself. I'm sending you the request.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Prashant.
Jai Shri Krishna, Vikas ji, Jai Shri Krishna, Ulka ji,
Jai Shri Krishna.
all.
Jai Shri Krishna.
I want to ask you, since long you are into this Gita studies and spreading knowledge of Gita, sir. So, how do you look at it? This Islamic jihad is spreading everywhere, all over the world. So, these are all demons. So,
yes.
Krishna has always asked Arjuna to war on means do war. So how do you look at it, this Islamic jihad?
You see, there is a difference between, what we learn in Gita is Dharma Yuddha. Okay. So it is also a sort of Dharma Yuddha, and jihad, they call it Dharma Yuddha themselves also. But there is a great difference between Dharma Yuddha and jihad.
Correct.
Dharma Yuddha is for protecting the righteousness in the world, righteousness in the society. While jihad is for thrusting your inauspicious thought on the auspicious mind and all other people. Whether they like it or they don't like it. Gita teaches us you believe in any God. It doesn't force you to believe only in Hindu God. It says you believe in one God. Jihadists say you believe in our God, otherwise you don't deserve to live. Gita doesn't teach this. Gita is for the entire humanity, for 8 billion, all 8 billion people of the world. It doesn't discriminate between nationalities, between caste, creed. It does not discriminate. So Bhagavad Gita's message is universal, while jihad is for a limited group of people. People called jihad is nothing greater than a mafia. People under the force of a gun or a sword. See, the Arabs came to India in 8th century and they forcefully converted all Hindus, many of Hindus, into Islam. So that was under the power of a sword. Do we do that way, Hindus? Have we ever entered any country or have we gone any place to convert them into Hinduism? We don't do it. We give that freedom to them. So jihadis are basically terrorists. They are bad elements. And what we call it asuras in the 16th Adhyaya Bhagavad Gita, Devasur Sampad Vibhaga Yoga, if you see the list down all the asuri gunas, you will see all of them in those people. In 16th Adhyaya, God has explained the Daivi gunas in the first 3 slokas, Avayam Satta Samshuddhir Jnana Sri Dhanadamsha, all this. And then the rest of the Adhyaya, is for explaining the Asuri Gunas. You will see all the Asuri Gunas in those people who are talking of jihad. So time is up for us to rise against all this and to spread our message of Sanatana Dharma, our message of Bhagavad Gita, which Gita Pariwar is doing that only. We want every hand should have Gita book in his hand. Every home should have Gita chanting every day. That is the purpose of our Gita Pariwar mission. Ghar Ghar Gita, Kar Kar Gita, everyday Gita. And now 24 hours Gita. So Har Pal Gita. Now the mission of Bhagavad Gita Pariwar is Har Pal Gita. All 24 hours, not a single moment is there when Gita is not read in Gita Pariwar. So that is the way we can invoke the sensibility, at least in our Hindus, to tell them that what those people are spreading is rubbish. Don't get swayed with their propaganda. Our Sanatana Dharma is the best. It does not force on people. It gives you a mirror. It shows you a mirror. It tells you if you do this, it will happen. If you do that, that will happen. You decide what to do. It does not force you on you anything. God has very politely said in many shlokas of Gita, me matihi. This is my opinion. Your opinion may be different. God is not saying you should do this only. Otherwise get lost. He doesn't say that.
Yes, get lost is
God
the
is God.
Sir.
But he says that it may matihi. It is my opinion. So God is so humble, and their God, you see, they don't talk of God at all. They talk of some individual, but their philosophy is totally violence based. Violence based. They don't think twice before killing a person. While our Hindu Dharma, it does not teach himsa. Arjuna was told not for doing himsa, but for standing to his responsibility. Gita doesn't preach violence. It teaches us in case of your performing kartavya karma, you have to stand by your dharma. Dharma is your responsibility. Dharma is not Hindu, Sikh, Musai, but Hindu dharma is our kartavya karma, our prescribed duty. So this message and where is that message of jihad? So these two things are absolutely not comparable at all. Jihad is what they do. They marry with Hindu girls and they spoil the whole Hindu family.
Yes, sir. No,
Later on they kill the girls.
all kinds of jihad. Yeah.
And all these are still sleeping. They are still not waking up. Despite so many cases happening in India, still you see in the newspaper that these people are getting married. I don't know what really attracts these Hindu girls to those people. Somebody, a pawn shop owner or somebody doing a puncture work, they get attracted to such guys, girls from good families. It's a shocking thing to see. So the more we spread our spirituality in the society, the better it is, the better awakening will take place. And fortunately, it is happening now. It is happening in our Hindu society that people are waking up.
Waking up, yeah.
People are waking up and they are becoming cautious. They are looking around in the society, who is a troublemaker around me now, in my colony, in my mohalla, in my city. And they keep talking to each other that this thing is happening in our society or this thing is happening in our street or mohalla or city. So people are waking up and that's a good sign. That is a good sign. We should wake up.
Because people are looking at this Gita study as a bhakti only. They are not studying. They are looking at as a
Gita teaches everything.
Wake
It
up
is
to
a
counter
bhakti,
this.
See, Gita basically is a karma yoga. Gita is a karma yoga. So it teaches you why Gita was said to Arjuna, because he has forgotten his kartavya karma. So it was said to him to instill in him the feeling of his kartavya karma. What is your kartavya karma? You have forgotten. That's why Arjuna said in the end, Nashtamo Smir Labda, Tvat Prasadam Mayachita, Sitosmi Sandeha, Karishya Vacharan Tava. I will do it now. I will do it as you are advising me. So Karishya Vacharan Tava is the karma yoga. He understood what is his kartavya karma. That is why we should also remember what is our kartavya karma. To the next generation in our families, we should preach these principles of Gita. That's why every day in the family, we should have this practice of reading either Ram Raksha or Gita one adhyay. Something, some spiritual atmosphere has to be created in the families. Otherwise,
Sir,
people are,
we are doing Ram
otherwise-
Raksha, Panchama Ganumat Kavach, and Hanuman Chalisa. We are doing.
yes. No, we do it for ourselves, fine.
Yes,
But
yes,
our
yes.
next generation, our children and their children, they
Yes.
should understand, they should learn from
It could
us.
spread.
Then only it will spread to the few next generations. Otherwise, it will end with our generation. It should not happen like that. We should spread the message of Gita to the generations next to next to next. Then only this can survive.
Correct.
Otherwise, that God has said in the 4th Adhyay, this Karma Yoga was told to Surya Narayan Bhagwan, but over the generations, it got lost in between. So this message of Gita may also get lost in between if we don't propagate it, we don't spread it.
Thank you, Dadaji.
Jai Shri
Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you. And as Vikas Dada said, it is all the more important that the next batch should have maximum participation. And we are the one who should be able to do that by spreading the word of joining more and more of our family, friends, and neighbors.
Right, Bhaiya.
Any other questions? I don't see any hands raised. Okay. So, Vikas Dada, it's extremely absorbing Vivekan session of Nyas from you. Your guidance has helped this sacred teaching settle within us. I believe it will take time, but it has started reaching to the right place. I'm sure every listener present today is enriched, uplifted, and more aligned with their inner spiritual journey. Thank you very much for the excellent Vivekan session. Jai Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
I express my deep gratitude to the technical and the backend teams working behind the scenes for their excellent contribution in making this session a success practically every weekend and time and again, day in, day out. Now, we offer our sincere gratitude to Shri Bhagwan for all the blessings that he has bestowed upon us. And for that, I'm happy to call upon Dr. Vaishali Ravi Deshmukhji from Amravati, Maharashtra. A doctor means she is a PhD by education and professor already with the college in the Amravati. Vaishali joined Geeta Pariwar in April 2023 and currently provides Seva as a co-trainer. Vaishali request you to please lead us in the offering of our devoted prayer at the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna.
योगेशं सच्चिदानन्दं वासुदेवं व्रजप्रियं धर्मसंस्थापकं वीरं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं ॐ श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु जय श्री कृष्ण.
Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you very much, Vaishali for chanting the prayer on behalf of all of us. Sadhaks, let us stay connected to the divine wisdom of Bhagavad Gita by attending the classes regularly, spreading the word as guided by Vikas Dada, our today's boatman, and regularly through the week and coming back to the next weekend session for enlightening the Vivekan session. Now we will conclude the session with chanting of the Hanuman Chalisa.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि बरनउ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि करहु कलेस विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबेको आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबेको रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिंहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होतन आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम भजन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग प्रताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटै मिटै सब पीरा जो सुमिरै हनुमत बल बीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।